need you to stay with me and love me through the night. Endlessly, I'ma keep on my chance when I make love to you. Hold me close and let me squeeze you tight through the night. Baby girl, how do I look in my do-right? Want you to do you like my do-it? Watch me go so. Baby girl, how do I look in my do-right? Would you like to stay with me and love me through the night? Endlessly, I just wanna know how you feel. Tell me, am I doing it right? I may be covered in cat, but I still smell good. Baby, let me know how do I look in my new rag? Don't bother me, let me rock you all night long. I'm trying to impress you, girl. Let me know how do I look in my new rag? I'm trying to get intimate. Let me love you like you've never been before, baby. You don't have to like some video games or my comic books. Baby girl, how do I look in my new rag? Did I tie it right? Did you wear that dress just for me? Cause I'm trying to smash. Baby girl, I'm smashing my do-rag. Cause it's only right. Do you like the way my eyes drips in the light? Baby girl, do you like me in my do-rag? Let me know. Would you let me know? Let me know. Let's make love until we fall asleep. I like the way you feel next to me. Baby, you look so good in this moonlight. Stay with me and love me through the night. Baby, let's make love until we fall asleep.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, with the Rick T Podcast, episode 25. I'm your host, Eric Holmes, with my host, Jello Rexroad, and my other host, Tony Cave, back on the camera. How you boys doing tonight? Oh, shit, you both are on mute. My bad. Hold up. I forgot.
Oh, shit, there we go.
How you boys doing tonight? There we go.
You're good.
Good, how are
How about
you?
yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Been watching football all damn day. I'm loving it. I love wild card, or not wild card weekend, divisional weekend, bro. I love me some football for sure. But man, like I said, this is episode 25 of the Rick T Podcast. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Been doing this for freaking, I don't even know how long, 12, 13 weeks now. And we're going to keep going strong. We couldn't do it without you guys. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in to Rick T Podcast, episode 25, man. Like it says on the bottom of our screen, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at the Rick T Podcast, man. Go ahead and like and subscribe, just so you get all the notifications for us when we post videos, when we're going live, if we change time, stuff like that. So definitely follow us on all social media platforms. We're going to get right on into it, man. Today was day one, Saturday, 2 games of the divisional weekend. We had the Rams versus the Packers, and right now still playing is the Ravens versus the Bills. 2 great games, but Tony, we're going to start with you, man. How are you feeling about this first game, Rams versus Packers? I don't actually have the score pulled up in front of me. Give me 1 second so I can get you the exact score. NFL, where are you at? There we go, NFL. So it was 18, Rams 18, Packers 32, man. So the Packers are moving on to the NFC Championship game. So how are you feeling on this one, Tony?
Aaron Rodgers is just too proficient, man. He's way too proficient. You cannot stop that man. He's honestly, in my opinion, he's the most proficient quarterback in the NFL right now. Not greatest. We can't say greatest because we all know who that is. We all know who the GOAT is, even though we don't want to say it. It's Tom Brady. Jello, I'm sorry. You got to get on that train, brother. You gotta acknowledge greatness. You got to acknowledge greatness. But just like Lil J said in the chat, Packers defense is fast as fuck. That's true. That is so true. They play balls to the wall. They gang tackle. They do everything they're supposed to do. And they're just a fun team to watch, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. They put it on them for real too. It wasn't even close. But it was a great game. Like I said, we had Rams 18, Packers 32. Jello, how are you feeling on this one, man?
I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, as hurt as the Rams are, they had no chance against the Packers. Big thing that surprised me is Devontae Adams hit the under on yards this game. So, I mean, he had 66 yards and a touchdown. So, maybe that's just a fluke game. I mean, it's Adams. He's always balling out. So, but, I mean, the Rams just didn't show up. Goff is obviously hurt and can't keep up. The other quarterback, there's no way he was hitting the field. So, they were stuck. And, their defense looked all right, but man, their offense couldn't get anything going, so the Packers just ran all over them. So no surprise there. Rodgers with the rushing touchdown, something we don't see a lot. So, I mean, it was a good game. I'll take it. Obviously, Packers are going to get the dub in this one.
I really feel like you just said we don't see Aaron Rodgers rush a touchdown a lot. I feel like he's always rushing a touchdown. Like every 2 games, he's running in on like a 3-yard run on the outside, dude. Aaron Rodgers can run for real. I think he's one of those quarterbacks that can actually run if he has to.
Let's get a fact check on that. I can't do it right now. I got the game going on my laptop. Can someone check that for me?
What am I doing? Seeing how many rushing
touchdowns this season?
Ooh, I mean,
this season.
Let me see. Rushing touchdowns: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. He has 5, if you include today. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I just feel like Aaron Rodgers can run though. Like we all know he can take off out of the pocket if he needs to. As one of the quarterbacks, like let's say Jared Goff. Jared Goff will run and put his shoulder down too if he really has to, which I like about him. But there's only a few quarterbacks of that caliber that will actually do that nowadays. A lot of quarterbacks, even Kyler Murray's ass will slide. You know what I mean? And I get he's little, but like, dude, you're a running quarterback, and then there's quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, a bunch
Lamar
of
Jackson. Lamar Jackson puts his head down, bro.
Yeah, he'll put his shoulder down for real.
His head down. He scares me.
Lamar Jackson scares for real. But back to the game, 18 Rams, 32 Packers. I think a lot of people expected this, but there was a lot of people also saying, I won't be surprised if the Rams pull this one out. With the Packers coming off the first week or that first round bye, and then the Rams actually putting up a decent fight against Seattle last weekend, it looked like it was going to come out to a better game. But when Aaron Rodgers throws 23 for 36 and 296 yards, just off of that, you know what I mean? Because Jared Goff went 21 for 27, which is actually statistically better, but he only threw 174 with 1 touchdown, and he got sacked 4 times. You know what I mean? So there's just a big difference in their playing style, and it's going to really be an interesting game to see who Aaron Rodgers plays in the NFC Championship. It'll either be the Bucs or Tampa. I think either team can kind of give him a run for his money, but we'll see. I think it'll be a great game next weekend. But we'll actually move on to the game that's playing right now. Jello, we'll start with you. Are you watching this?
I mean, I've been watching it a little bit, just keeping up with certain aspects of it so far. But what's the score right now? That's something I haven't checked in a bit.
So right now, Baltimore 3, Buffalo 17 with 14 minutes and some change left in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
So, Buffalo has the ball and they're driving.
Yep. So, I mean, this is a big thing here. Once again, if they can stop that rush game from Lamar, I mean, it's game over, and they're making Lamar throw the ball, and he's making mistakes like that pick 6 that just happened, for example. So, I mean, and that's the big thing here where Allen can do both. He's a big dude who can run, but his IQ when it comes to throwing the ball, I know he had a few over Diggs' head at that point, but, I mean, that's nothing crazy overall when you compare it to what Lamar's was. At halftime, I'm pretty sure Lamar was like, 3 for 6? And he had, 11 rushing attempts, something like that, where, I mean, the Bills just threw the ball the whole game for that first half. So, and Allen was the only one to really rush it at that point. So it's just that thing where I hate to say it because I want to see Lamar succeed, but in situations like this, he has to learn to get throwing the ball down to a T at that point. So because this isn't working, I mean, when if they know that you're going to run, they're going to blitz you all game. They don't have to drop guys back at that point because Lamar had those rushes. Is so I mean, it's nothing crazy. We've seen this all year. They keep trying to go, and I don't know what JB's saying is no joke right now. They are a joke right now. I hate to say it, but they
Hell
are.
yeah, they are.
This is the thing. It's just with the coaching they have, with the players they have, this team should be a Super Bowl winning team, no doubt about it. With the caliber of players they have, but they showed some signs of getting able to figure it out. Lamar's getting 190 plus yards, which for him is great. That's the buildup, and boom, we're back to what he was at the beginning of the season, dropping games, not being able to get the ball out, receivers doing who knows what at that point. So I mean, they're making him uncomfortable, and it's just like Big Ben last week against the Browns. They made him uncomfortable, and now he's making mistakes. So I hate to see it, but Josh Allen is the one fighting here. So Bills team wants it, and they're going to get what they want. So no way they're losing this game.
I agree. What is up, DeLon? Shout out DeLon19. What's up, my boy? Welcome to the stream. Episode 25, bro. They are winning. Bro, you're
tripping, dog.
Yeah, you just said Baltimore is no joke. He's saying Buffalo is better. That's what he's saying. Buffalo is killing these dudes right now. But Tony, we'll move on to you, man.
Maybe
Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you saying?
I was saying maybe Jay meant to say Buffalo.
Okay. But maybe we'll move on to you. Holy shit, what a punt. Sorry, I forget I'm ahead of you too. My bad, Tony. But we'll move on to you. Baltimore 3. Goddamn, Buffalo 17 with about 9 minutes and 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Baltimore does get the ball back right now, but they are down multiple drives. How do you feel on this one?
I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. So, first thing is the Ravens' offensive line is not doing shit right now. Lamar is under pressure nonstop. Second thing, Justin Tucker. What the hell? Justin Tucker, a guy that missed 3 field goals in the regular season, is 1 for 3 right now in the most important game of the year so far. That's just not good at all.
I completely agree.
Yep.
Especially for my DraftKings. I'm doing a fantasy DraftKings. Shut, Tony. Who is that?
My boy Hassan. It's FaZe. What's up, Hassan?
What did I say? That's crazy. All right. That's wild, bro. But then also fucking Stephon Diggs is unguardable. Stephon Diggs is absolutely unguardable. And then I didn't get to put my picks in for tomorrow's game because I was absent on Wednesday. So I'm going Saints and Chiefs take the dub. No. Hang on one second. Since Jay want to talk shit to me, I'm going Bucks.
Oh!
I'm going Bucks over Saints.
Bucks over Saints? You switched to the dark side.
Mm-hmm. So Jay want to run his mouth.
Damn.
I literally tried to help this kid out when he said Baltimore is no joke right now. Fucking idiot.
I don't know. Maybe he heard something different or something. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. Ravens 3, Bills 17. Looking at it right now, it does not look good for the Ravens. They just don't have statistically enough time to catch up unless some crazy shit happens, some deep plays. But Lamar Jackson is 14 for 24 right now for 162 yards, which actually is better than it looks on the field. But rushing, he's only rushed 9 times for 34 yards, which is where they're failing because everyone knows that the Ravens running team is better than their passing team. They're not a passing team. Lamar Jackson, he can't necessarily pass. And right now what I'm looking at, and I hate to talk ahead, Lamar Jackson's getting walked to the locker room. And they have somebody in number 2 who I don't know who that is. but number 2's at quarterback for the Ravens. So this will be fucking crazy. It's been a crazy game actually so far. But the Buffalo Bills are just way too superb for this team. They can play offense, they can play defense, and I'm excited for them to play the Chiefs next week. It's my little hint. Let me read this. Okay, clown, you shouldn't be on a podcast.
Yo, Jay, I'm gonna need you to learn how to fucking type before you want to talk shit to me in chat.
Whoa!
You need to learn how to fucking spell before you can fucking talk.
Guys, I want to keep this
Fucking
rated
dumbass.
PG. So Tony, leave Jalen alone. Jalen, leave this man Tony alone. Just split it up, boys. Unless you guys can get along. Come on, guys. Let's take it easy. It's way too early in this. It's been 16 minutes. What up, Justin? Gang in this bitch. Gang in this bitch. What up, my boy? How you doing? We're just talking about this Ravens-Bills game, but we're actually going to go on to tomorrow's games. Tony, we'll start with you. Browns at Chiefs. Please don't hype these Browns up because that's not going to happen. What do you got to say on this?
Jay told me to get off the podcast, pussy. I'm cool. I'm going to sit my ugly ass right here. You can suck a fat dick. All right, anyway, I'm going with the Chiefs. For sure, 100%. We don't need to talk about it much more.
All right, great. Jello, coming to you on this one. Browns at Chiefs.
So like Wednesday, like I said, I'm going Chiefs by 3. I feel comfortable with that pick at that point. I think it's just going to come down to how these defensive plays. I mean, I like the Browns defense more than I like the Chiefs defense, but I like the Chiefs offense more than the Browns. So I feel like it's going to be one of those hit or miss games, or it could be the game like the Chiefs had against the Rams where it's 50-50 points on either side of the ball. So, I mean, if they can put up over 100 points this game, I wouldn't be mad about seeing that, but I'm going to go 27-24 Chiefs on this game.
This is not your show. Chill. You guys are
That's
fucking
funny because he's in chat right now.
Y'all niggas
That's funny because you're in chat right
ripping.
now. You're in
Y'all
chat
niggas
right
are
now talking shit to me. And I'm on
ripping.
screen, dog, and I'm welcome on screen any day of the week. I can
Y'all
show my
are
ass up on this show. I can show my ass up on Eric's show. Eric sent me an open invite for his show. So I can do whatever the fuck I please. You're sitting your ass at home smoking a blunt in your room by yourself. Shut up.
guys. Whoa. What is going on here? This is the most brutal show that I've seen this early. It's not even deep.
It's funny because it's funny because my ass was trying to defend Jay when he said Baltimore is no joke right now. That's the dumbest shit you said ever since we started this show. Shut up. Sick of seeing your ugly dumbass. Stop watching because I'm gonna be here all the time.
Y'all are tripping. Just chill. Both y'all need to chill. Chill in the chat. Chill on the screen. Let's keep it moving. Jello, coming to you on this one. Browns at Chiefs.
So I already put that in 27-24 Chiefs on this one. So I mean, once again, this could be a defensive game. Who can stop whose offense a little bit better at that point?
I feel it. I like it. Browns at Chiefs. You have it at the 3-point spread. I'm at that would have been nice if you completed that. I have it at a 7-point spread. I think it's Boykin at quarterback. No, it's not. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Boykin is 80s. So.
Jay, you're talking reckless now, bro. You better chill, dog. I swear to God.
Nightbot, get on it.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, this is fucking insane. Y'all need to both just chill. We're talking sports here. I just don't get it. But I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs by 10. I think this will be a better game in person than it will on the spreadsheet and on the scoreboard. I like the Browns after seeing what they did to the Steelers and seeing how they play as a unit. They actually won it. That's like a college team to me right now. They're actually playing with some fight. They're the 3-headed dog that they promote. But I'm excited to see the game. But I think the Chiefs are just way too real for this Browns defense. I like the Browns offense and I like the Chiefs offense. But if I had to pick the defenses, I don't necessarily like either, but I would go with the Chiefs just because of the record and they know how to finish. You know what I mean? That defense obviously knows how to finish. But I got the Chiefs in this one. I got it 30-20. I think it'll be a good high scoring game. If you guys have the spread at 50, I would definitely 50 plus. I would take it. easily, for sure. But we'll move on to this next game, and I'm excited for this one, boy. And we all kind of took our picks on this one, but we'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Jello, Buccaneers at Saints tomorrow night, the last game of the divisional weekend. It'll decide who plays against the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship. What are you thinking?
I mean, so I said Saints by 3 in this last one, but just to add to this and be on my homie side, I'm changing to the Bucks by 3 on this one. I was looking over a lot of. So I mean, it's not. Once again, I still got to say fuck Tom Brady, but he is what he is. But I was looking over a few things, just footage from the last game and how Breeze was holding up, and how having Devin White back for the Buccaneers at this point, and how that's going to go for Breeze. I mean, if his line can hold up, that's one thing, but how big this defense is and having Devin White come back at this point is going to be a huge addition. I mean, I didn't give him enough credit earlier in the season, so I got to give him credit now when he's proved himself over and over again. So I think this defense is going to be a huge factor in this, and there's still some injuries on that Saints defense. So, and that's something they're going to have to deal with. And I don't know, there's still some questionable players on that side where, I mean, I think the Bucks really have to take this away. As much as that hurts, I really had to dig deep and look into this one because I can't really go bold anymore. It's getting too tight for that. So I got to give it Bucks by 3 on this one.
I like it. Jalen, I'll actually take that bet, bro. I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet right here.
I'll take that bet too. I'll take that bet too.
Straight up, we'll start a chat. We'll start a chat or something, and we can get a bet going, a parlay. So we'll get it started because I'll actually take that bet. I don't want to bet crazy money, but I think that'll be the best game to bet on. But I like it a lot. I really do like it a lot.
I'll bet my whole tax return on that bitch.
I'm down.
All right, bet that. But Jalen, definitely hit us up. We'll talk about it. But hey, we're gonna get into something a little new. But this game is actually crazy. Let me give you guys an update on this. The score is still 3-17, but Buffalo has the ball back. Lamar Jackson is in the locker room. He didn't come back out of the locker room after walking in there. So if you're a Buck or a Ravens fan like my lady, you should be sweating a little bit. You probably shouldn't be feeling too comfortable about this game, but it was a great season, and I'm excited to see what you guys do in the draft to come next year. But we're going to get right into my boy Tony's Discounted Smoke. You got your players?
Yeah.
You decided to put old boy on there. I'm excited to see. But we're gonna get right into Discounted Smoke, presented by your boy Tony.
Yes, sir. First of all, Jay, you see my ugly fat ass front and center? I want you to pay attention to me. I want you to stare me right in the face. Okay? So, first of all, we're going to go ahead and go with Lamar Jackson. Dude's trash. He cannot throw the football. He is a joke. The Ravens are a joke. They proved it today. They can't win. They can't go deep in the playoffs. Second one, Justin Tucker. Supposed to be the best kicker in the league. Chokes in the biggest game of the year so far. Not much else to say about that. And third, I'm going to go with Juju. Because Juju was sitting his ass on the bench crying, and Baker Mayfield had to go all the way across and go fucking bump fists with him real quick, tell him good game and stuff like that. But he was crying on the field and stuff like that. And so if I'm Juju, I stop making those TikToks. I stop doing stupid shit. Stop dancing on people's logos because you got his bell rung for that. I know he already said he's going to stop doing that, but we'll see, man. But that's Discounted Smoke. Short and sweet.
I like it. We're going to get right on into my boy Jello shots, boy. I know you better have your shit. Let me go ahead and read what Jello shot is real quick so people know. So the fans know. So Jello shot is a 3-part system towards a player, team, or game. Shot 1 is his mystery take. It's a shot Jello isn't very confident in, but that could really happen. Shot 2 is his bold take, a shot that Jello's going to make that he's 100% confident in. And shot 3 is his regret take, Jello's biggest, boldest take of the week that could come back and bite him in his ass. So, Jello, what do you got, man?
I mean, so shot number one is going towards none other than Kareem Hunt. That's my one issue with the Browns team at this point is how is he going to play? I don't think he's going to match up well with a few certain players on that defense. I don't think how he runs the field is all that great. I get he finds holes being able to catch the ball and stuff like that, but I mean that's one thing I don't think he's going to succeed tomorrow with Nick Chubb being as good as he is at this point. So I have to go after Kareem Hunt on this one. And on the other end of the ball here, I have to go Chiefs rushing game on this one. My focus for these Jello shots is for this game because, I mean, with Hilaire out at this point, I don't like this Chiefs running game at this point. And this is not going to be good if look what happened last week when Ben had to throw it 60 plus times. I get Mahomes is much better. He's able to move out a little bit more. But this Chiefs rushing game has got to pick it up, and I don't think it will. So, I mean, I feel they're going to drop the ball figuratively and literally tomorrow. So that's going to be a big thing to watch for. And my big shot this week, something I've said it before, is I think this Chiefs defense is going to crumble. Under pressure, they haven't been good. Look at the Falcons game. Look at what happened both times against the Raiders at that point. Their defense crumbles in these high situations. It's not like last year where they had everything together. This year, I think they've had a lot of issues. I know injury-wise. I mean, you got Matthew, Frank Clark, stuff like that. Those guys have been, overall, they haven't been bad, but I think as a unit, they're going to crumble tomorrow, and I think that's why this game is going to be much closer than people think when it comes to that. Is this Browns offense is hungry? They're ready to go. I mean, you can take the dog out the fight. Once again, you can't take the fight out of the dog. So, and these guys are dogs, and they're ready to win. So, if Chiefs defense doesn't pick it up, it's game over. So,
I like it. I like those takes a lot. That was my boy Jello Shots. Jello Shot takes, man. I know you guys feeling that. But we're going to get right into the Rick T podcast, scratching the surface takes, man. And there's some good shit this week. I like these ones a lot, for real. Get set up. And I want to let chat know we're playing a game after this segment. It's called I Am the GM, and there's a whole chat segment just for y'all. We want you guys to answer these questions. For real. But let's get right into this, scratching the surface. So the Rick T podcast, scratching the surface takes. Jello, we'll start with you, my man. Pat Mahomes looks to improve to 4-1 career playoff record with the Chiefs, man. So I want to know specifically how. How can Cleveland knock KC off tomorrow? I need to know a game plan. If you were the head coach right now, like what's your game plan around this?
And this big thing is just pass defense at this point. I mean, and get that rush going so he can move out of the pocket. But the issue is, if you're going to go in there, you're going to chase him down. He's going to get out of the pocket, and somebody's going to be open down the field. So we can't give him time to throw. That's going to be priority number one. And we've got to watch our backfield at this point. With the people we have back there, they need to step it up. I don't care who it is. You could be a no-name player at this point. You've got to step it up. This is the way the Browns knock off the Chiefs at this point. And it's a possibility. We saw it last week. If we can get in there, pressure the quarterback, get these critical interceptions. Look at the Dolphins, for example, getting 3 interceptions off Mahomes. If we're able to do that, I think our offense can pick it up where Miami's couldn't at that point. So, I mean, we just got to stop Mahomes. That's our big worry. Keep someone on Tyreek. We got people quick enough. I mean, keep Kelsey where we want him at that point. Keep him as a blocker and just pressure Mahomes. Pressure. And if we do that, Browns take this one.
I like it. Chat, go ahead and drop your comments on what you guys can think can happen. We want to know your guys' bold takes on these questions as well. Tony, going to swing it over to you, my man. Pat Mahomes looks to improve to 4-1 with his career playoff record with the Chiefs, man. So I want to know, if you were the coach for Cleveland tomorrow, man, how do you knock Kansas City off their throne tomorrow? Like, how do you do it? What's the game plan around it?
Well, I would start by trying to lock up Hill and probably Kelsey. Hill and Kelsey first. And I'd rush 4. I'd have 4 dudes on the line of scrimmage at all times, just so you have a QB contain and you have 2 big guys in the middle. But other than that, man, your offense needs to perform. It needs to be able to keep up with the high-scoring offense of the Chiefs. So there's not really much. Lil Spinks 09, Nick Chubb. That's my opinion. Nick motherfucking Chubb. I agree with that. I
100%.
totally agree with that.
150%.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
That's exactly a great answer right there. That's how you keep up with the Chiefs right there.
Exactly. Pat Mahomes looks to improve to his 4-1 career playoff record with the Chiefs. How can Cleveland knock off Kansas City tomorrow? If I was the Cleveland GM, how do I do it? And I was literally thinking it right before he said it. I was like, man, Kansas City's defense is not really that good. Like Jello said in his take, he thinks Kansas City's defense is going to crumble. I think that's a real possibility, and especially against Cleveland, who has one of the best two-headed monsters in the game when they're both running at the top of their game. You know what I mean? Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, they're both crazy. You give them the ball. You don't even got to worry about Baker this game. I would not even touch Baker this game. Swear. Best back in the playoffs besides Kamara. I think, yeah, I think he is the best back still left.
Who else to compare?
I think he is the best.
That's
what I'm saying, though.
Kamara's definitely number one.
So you said Alvin Kamara is the best right now because Odell, and a lot of people can agree with that. It's kind of obvious just from what he can do, but I don't think tomorrow is going to be a good game for them. I don't. I think Tampa Bay's defense is ready.
Nah, but we can all wait. Hold up, I wanna know because I didn't hear an answer from Jello.
No, go ahead.
I completely agree with you. Alvin Kamara is definitely the best that's in the playoffs right now. Jello, what do you think?
If we're going right now, I have to give it to Nick Chubb on this point. And this is the big thing behind it, is he suffered that huge injury at this point, missed some games, and comes back better than ever. I'm not going to discredit Kamara's 6-touchdown game and the way he can catch the ball. But as a sheer running back, I have to give this to Chubb because this dude can fight through. He doesn't need a hole to get where he needs to go. He fights through it. Where Kamara looks through that hole and uses his athleticism to get where he needs to go. The way Chubb runs and the way he wants this right now, I have to give it to Nick Chubb. That's no hate on Kamara whatsoever. So that's just sheer force from Chubb as a running back right now.
So Eric, do we have time to do a 5-minute little debate here?
Yeah, give me 1 second before we do this real quick. I want to do a game break on this Buffalo-Baltimore game going on real quick. Baltimore is still up 17-3, but Tyler Huntley is in the game at quarterback for the Ravens, and he's looking actually pretty good. He's 6 for 9 for 60 yards. He's looking all right, and he can move in the pocket. So if you guys are watching this, definitely go ahead and tune into this. But, yeah, go ahead and continue the debate. Jello, get the fuck out.
Jello,
I saw that coming.
Jalen's a show bouncer. I swear, he be kicking everybody, including House, up out here, bro. But anyway, I don't agree. I don't think Nick Chubb has the power to put in 6 touchdowns in one game. 6 rushing touchdowns. I don't think he can do it. I really don't.
I don't think Cleveland in general is meant for 6 rushing touchdowns in a game.
Well, so this is my big thing.
Even if Cleveland gets him down, the Cleveland offense gets him down to the red zone, I don't see Nick Chubb pounding that ball in. They're going to go, go somewhere else. They're going to go to Austin Hooper. They're going to go to Juice.
Kareem Hunt. They put the big boy in. They put the big boy in to take those hits. We've all seen it before.
Exactly.
I kind of regretted it in fantasy because they're like you said, Tony, their goal line offense isn't that good. But they're built off of big plays there in Cleveland. They're built off of big plays, and I see it every week. But it made it this far, so obviously they're doing something. And I want to say something else with this debate. If they had Odell Beckham, it would be a completely different story, I think. I don't know if they're here. If they are here, I don't know if the game plan is to pass the ball. I don't know if it's to run the ball. I just don't know. You know what I mean? But I think this is weird to see that they're going this far with Odell on the team, quote unquote, because he's sitting at home, rehabbing, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I feel bad or if it's just like an awkward situation there in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Because I was saying at the beginning of when we started these podcasts, Odell, before he got hurt, I was like, yeah, he's not going to be there next year. He's too still about himself. But now after looking at this team, looking how far they're going, how well Baker's playing, it's a completely different story. And I think if he was here, the whole game plan or maybe the situation with Cleveland would be different in a whole different world. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I think the big thing behind that is if OBJ off the field, it gave other players the chance to shine. Higgins, Peoples-Jones, Hooper, what's his name? Harrison Bryant, for example. People that probably wouldn't have gotten the ball if he was on the field. because we all know OBJ is about himself. I think that's why, he did have the rushing touchdown and stuff like that, but I feel those came from his mind at this point with another new Browns head coach at that point. But I think the players in his place are playing better than he has this year, in my opinion, just off of sheer overall play at this point. The tight ends are blocking. These guys out of nowhere are catching the ball and being able to move it down the field. But just to continue on this whole Nick Chubb thing, I think that's a huge thing. Eric said it right, is they have a lot of these big plays. But I think you put Chubb in that situation where they bring him in on the goal line like Kamara. I know Kamara had 1 for 34 in that game, but you put him in those goal line situations, and I think he succeeds. There's a reason they don't. He's the reason they get those big plays down the field to put him in where Hunt runs the ball in. They just don't need him because they do have Hunt. But you put Chubb in that situation, and I think he shines just like Kamara does. That's what I'm saying. Right now, here and right now, I put Chubb over Kamara, just the way they're playing. But when you look at career-wise, of course, Kamara is going to be above Chubb at this point with that 6 touchdown game. But in these playoffs, how they're playing right now, I have to put Chubb ahead right now.
So following that up, do you think if Chubb has a big game tomorrow, since he, in your opinion, is the best running back left in the league right now in the playoffs, do you think they beat the Chiefs?
Yes, and this is what I'm saying. So I like Serge's take on this as well, as Nick Chubb to beat the Chiefs. That's how you get your offense going. Your defense, if your defense can do enough, their rush defense isn't great. We've seen that all year. But when you look at Matthew at that point, he's the reason that defense succeeds in a lot of these aspects at that point. He's able to get those interceptions, those block passes. So you avoid that situation and you run the ball at that point. And the way Chubb moves overall, I think they can run away with this game. But I don't think the Browns are going to do that, unfortunately. I think they're focusing on this throwing game, which, I mean, could still make them succeed. But I think you get 30 touches in the hands of Nick Chubb tomorrow, and the Browns win this game. And that's just off sheer talent and fight within them. And the way Chubb is and the way he plays, same way in Georgia at that point. There's a reason he succeeded in college the way he's succeeding now. No matter what adversity is there, he will fight through it. That's why I said he doesn't need a hole to get through. He fights through it. And I like the way he breaks tackles. I like the way he's able to get those 50-yard runs. And this dude never looks tired after he runs. So I think he can keep going all game, where he could have multiple long-distance touchdowns with how bad this rush defense is overall. So they get him going, and it is lights out. Nick Chubb is a baller, most improved player, even with this injury, in my opinion. Just off maybe not stat-wise, but the way he's playing, this man is a killer. And they use him the way the Titans use Derrick Henry, and you will see similar results, in my opinion.
I like it. Let's go ahead and move on off this topic a little bit, though. That was a great debate, boys. I like it. We all have to get off of our chest what we got to say. Before we move on, let me sit down and think. I think it comes down to if the Chiefs' offense starts off hot, if they start off cold, or if Browns D is able to disrupt the Chiefs' first few drives, Browns have a shot. If the Chiefs start off with 2 touchdowns on the first 2 drives, it's a wrap. Chiefs are winning. I agree. It's if the Chiefs are a momentum team, and they've been built on momentum since Andy Reid got there. That's just the kind of coach he is. Like, once that team gets rolling, bro, it's like jumping in front of a fucking train. You know what I mean? Like, there's no stopping it. So that was a great take, Lil Spinks 09. I like it. I really appreciate you for dropping that hot take for everyone to see, because a lot of people might agree on that, man. I really like that take a lot, because the Chiefs are built on momentum. That's a completely 100% positive. But we'll go ahead and move on to the next question. Tony, we'll start with you on this one. Aaron Rodgers is in the NFC Championship game again, man. So the Rodgers and the Packers have a real chance at another ring. Either way, the chips fall tomorrow in the Saints-Buccaneers game. Do you think that the Packers and Aaron Rodgers have a real chance?
Yes. So either way, whoever wins this game tomorrow, they're going to be traveling to Green Bay. They're going to go play in Lambeau, which is one of the very few stadiums right now that's allowing people. Today they had about 6,000 fans. And then there was about 3,000 fans worth of family, friends, so on and so forth. So a total of 9,000 fans. And you could definitely tell. Like, you could really tell when, like, a quarterback was trying to call out, he was trying to make an audible or he was trying to call out a blitzing linebacker or something like that, you could definitely tell that the noise was a problem. So
Completely agree.
I think they have actual home field advantage, which we haven't seen at all this year, and I think that's going to be huge. That is going to be huge. And also, man, nobody can guard Davante Adams. Jalen Ramsey can't guard Davante Adams. Nobody can.
I
don't
agree.
care.
That was a great ass take. I fucking agree with that. Home field advantage is big, and it hasn't been a thing this year, but it is for them. It truly is for them. They got fans. Same for Buffalo. You're watching it right now, fella. That them fans make a difference, bro. You know what I mean? And even if it's not the sound, it's just the environment. You know what I mean? Even if it's getting those players a little bit more hyped, with fans on the sideline, stuff like that, making it a little louder. You especially in like Bills Nation and Green Bay where their fans are crazy anyway. It's a different story. But Jello, we'll move on to you, man. Aaron Rodgers is in the NFC Championship game again. So do you think him and the Packers have a real chance at another ring? Either way, the chips fall tomorrow.
I mean, absolutely. When you see how this team is working, this is big chemistry. We can look back at Packers teams with Donald Driver, boom, Davante Adams at receiver, Jordy Nelson, boom, Robert Tonyan at that point. But I'm not going to compare him to the Browns defense, but you see these guys whose names don't pop up a lot, but the way they can play, the fact that Davante Adams only had 66 yards today, and Aaron Rodgers was still able to get 296 off at that point. That is huge. And I think it's one of the biggest things there when you look at Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Allen Lazard. I think they still have St. Brown playing at that point. Jones, Jamal Williams, even A.J. Dillon getting 100-plus yards. The way everybody on here can catch the ball and the way they can run the ball, and as smart as Rodgers is, and he can scan the field and make defenses look dumb, which is exactly what happened today against the Rams at that point. So I think they're the favorite. I mean, as much as I guess I don't hate to say it, but right now, overall, they're the favorites. They're on fire, and they have been all year outside of maybe that Bucs game down there. But that's not going to happen again, depending on who they play in this next game. They're on fire. They're ready to go. Injuries aren't there. They're fighting for this. I know Rodgers wants this probably more than anybody in the playoffs right now. So I think they have a big shot to win this at that point. Because what surprised me is, I mean, I gave a lot of hate to their defense, but boom, their defense is stepping up, doing what they needed to do, stopping the ball, getting where they need to be. And I mean, it's just great on both ends of the ball. So I think Packers could run away with this one in the end.
I like it a lot. Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship again. Do I think that him and the Packers have a real chance at another ring? Depending on the way the chips fall tomorrow in the Buccaneers Saints game. I do think the Packers have a real chance this year. A lot of people have been saying it all year. Even Jalen has been saying it in the chat. Aaron Rodgers for MVP since like week 3, and I was sitting here confused. But hey, he was right. A lot of people have been right, and I would love to be a Packers fan right now. They've been good on and off for the last, I don't even know how long. I've seen him in a Super Bowl. I've seen Aaron Rodgers. I've seen Brett Favre. Like I've seen Davante Adams. Like they always have Hall of Fame players rolling through that place there in Green Bay. So it's just interesting to see how they do it and the way they build that team. Because a couple years ago in the draft, I remember they took 2 cornerbacks in the first round and the second round, and I was like, cornerbacks? Like 2 back-to-back cornerbacks, and now it's like the top best duo in the league in Jair Alexander and his partner out there. So I don't know. It's not a really high recruiting spot, but it's kind of reminds me of like a New England Patriots spot where like when you go out there and play, you play. Like you know how to play. They teach you how to play really good. You got to be coachable, and there's no distractions out there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin type deal. So I really like it. But I don't know. I do think they have a chance. I think their best game will be against the Buccaneers if they have to play the Buccaneers. I think that's the kind of the best team that has a shot to knock them off the throne. But I'm really interested to see what they have to do the last couple of weeks to win a ring if they come to that chance, man. So I do think they have a real decent chance. But we'll move on to this next question. Jello, coming to you, man. Tom Brady looks to avenge 2 regular season losses versus the Saints, man. What quarterback does better tomorrow and why?
I mean, that's a real tough question at it. When we're looking at quarterbacks, I think this one's gonna go to Brady at this point. I want Breeze to do better, but if I'm being honest with myself, I think Brady's gonna do better, and it's just off sheer the Bucks can rush the ball, and Breeze still has to be hurting at this point. There's no way you come back from that and you're not hurting, and I think that's gonna be the only separation there is. I think Breeze is gonna look to get the ball out of his hands, but I think on both ends, both quarterbacks are looking to get the ball out of their hands very quickly at this point. But I think Brady's just going to be able to succeed, maybe even more with for the Bucks. It's the yards after the catch, where Breeze can still move it down the field and get those long passes. But I think for Brady, it's more yards after the pass. So I think his receivers are going to make him look better as well there. So as much as that hurts to say, I'm going to have to give it to Brady. It might not be by much, but I think he's going to be on the better edge there for a little bit.
I like it. TB12 because he's a dog and a competitor. TB12 is going to get that team the hypest they've ever been, Little Spinks09 says in the chat. So, Tony, swinging it over to you. Tom Brady looks to advance 2 regular season losses versus the Saints tomorrow. What quarterback does better tomorrow between Tom Brady and Drew Brees, and why?
Tom Brady, and my exact reason is, as I said earlier, because Jay wanted to run his mouth. So, Tom Brady has a field day against the Saints. They figure him out. The Saints gave the Bucks an ass whooping last time. It's not going to be the same. No way it happens again. History does not repeat itself.
I'm saying, bro, I think when you lose twice to a team in the regular season and then you see him again as that third chance in the playoffs, it's a different story. But I do want to give people a game update. The game is over between the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. It ended up finishing 17-3 Bills. The Bills will move on to the AFC Championship game against the winner of the Chiefs and the Browns tomorrow morning. So everyone stay tuned for that. It's going to be a crazy one. But I can agree on Lattimore has been getting dusted all season. Even Jalen, as a Saints fan, was telling me that earlier. He's like, Lattimore, he either needs to take a pay cut or we need to get rid of him because he's not the old Lattimore that we know. Lattimore is about to get worked by AB and Mike Evans. Man, what you know about AB? man, what you know about AB, Serge? What you know about AB, man? You don't know nothing about no AB. You don't know nothing about no AB. And shout out to my boy Bush Latte 33 for tuning in to the stream.
Bush Latte.
Hey, man. I might have to get on card with you later, Bush, man. You might have just earned yourself a little Eric time. No, I'm just fucking with you. Shout out to my boy.
You're about to get kicked off for saying shit like that.
Little Spinks09 said, "Oh hell nah." He said you had a whole AB pulled up. But straight up, bro, it's gonna be a great game. But let's move on to something a little more interesting, and I'm interested to hear your guys' takes on this. And if you live in Colorado, it's more of a bigger topic than if you're living in New York or Texas or something like that. Maybe Texas is a little bigger because this guy's from Texas. He played in Texas. But Von Miller is under investigation, man, in Parker, Colorado for an unknown reason. So, Tony, we'll start with you because we were talking about this a couple days ago. What do you think this is about? And if it's serious, what do you think Denver should do this guy straight up?
Bro,
Shut up, Buffalo. I agree, Dad. You don't want a title in the AFC East, Dad. I agree with that. Real quick, my dad said, "I hope the Chiefs kick the shit out of Buffalo." You do not want the Super Bowl winning Buffalo Bills, and you don't want to play them twice a year. You do not want to play them twice a year. It's not going to be good. But continue on that. Tony, I'm going to read the question to you one more time. Sorry to interrupt you, my brother. Von Miller is under investigation in Parker, Colorado for an unknown reason, man. So what do you think this is about? And if it's serious, what do you think Denver should do with this guy?
All right. So for anybody that doesn't know the story, okay, Von Miller got his girl pregnant, right? She texted him, and the text got leaked because he decided to act reckless over text message. She says, "I am late to my period, blah, blah, blah." And he says, "I'm so disappointed in myself," so on and so forth. And she's like, she says some other shit, and it goes on and on. But then he decides to say, "I hope or I hope. What did he say? He either said I hope it's an abortion or I hope it gets miscarried.
Yeah, he said that. I can't believe he said that
Yep.
shit. What an idiot.
So he says that, and then what? 2-3 weeks later, we get this article that says for unknown reasons. You know damn well he wouldn't box his baby mama. And like we do not promote that here at the Rick T podcast. As
I'm getting hella OJ vibes out of Von Miller. I'm not gonna lie.
Where's the Ford Bronco
yeah,
at?
this he plays for the Broncos. So I mean, like, fuck, man. It all is too. It's too much of a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's too much going on in your life already, and then you go under investigation. It's just like, yeah, it has to be combined. It has to be
exactly, bro.
I feel it. But Jello, let's swing it over to you on this one. Von Miller under investigation in Parker, Colorado for an unknown reason. So what do you think this is about? And if it's serious, what do you think Denver should do with this guy? And Tony, I'll let you answer that one too because you didn't really answer that one. So I'll swing it back over to you in a second.
So the big thing here, so we all know what it's about. I don't like where this is going due to the fact, I mean, I got 2 kids, so I don't like this situation with Von Miller. But I think Tony's right at this point. I mean, it's one thing to say, I hope it's an abortion. I hope that it's miscarried at that point, but they wouldn't bring charges on if there wasn't some kind of proof at this point because it went from investigation, and I think like was like 12 to 24 hours later, I heard there was charges being pressed, and I think it's going to have to do with some kind of assault. As much as I hate to say it, the reason they went unknown reasons is, I mean, Von Miller's still kind of, I guess you could say, a god in Broncos country at this point, which no matter what, I don't care who you are, you cannot do stuff like this. But we all know at this point, I mean, this stuff's all popped out. I know she came out and apologized, but unfortunately, the way she came out to apologizing for him, I think maybe that's fear on her side more than anything. But the big thing is, if these charges come out to be true, if all this stuff happens, it's a career ender. Outside of Kareem Hunt, who still manages to somehow be able to play football, when you look at the kicker for the Giants, Ray Rice, any man who puts a hands on his woman like that, you're going to be out. I don't care who you are. As much as I love watching Von Miller as a kid and all that different stuff, if you did this, fuck you. You're out of the NFL. You're done. I don't care about your name no more. Like that's how it is. And unfortunately, this is where it's going at this point because they're progressing this way too quick. So, I mean, I hope he didn't do it, but if he did, that's on you. Good luck.
Tony, if he did it, what do you think that the Denver Broncos should do with this guy?
No, I don't deal with none of that. if I caught anybody laying their hands on a female, they're getting boxed on site. I don't give a fuck if I go to jail for it. I don't care about nothing. Get him out of the NFL, lock him up in prison, make him do time. He's a celebrity, so he's probably not going to do time. He'll just have to pay a fine or some shit. But I want the book closed on this motherfucker. I do. Especially, it's like...
This nigga said he wants the book closed. He said, hey, it's time to pack it up. Will you come with me to my office? He's like...
Yeah. Get him out of here, chat. Get him out of here.
Straight up, bro.
Yo, Bush, I'm gonna need you to never say something like that in chat ever again.
He said maybe you just spanking her too hard. Nah, man, a woman like that can take a spank. If you know who she is, a woman like that can take a spanking. I just fucking with you. No, but real shit, we have to get on to the next topic. And this one's good shit. Maybe. Not for me. I'm not feeling it. But there's a lot of people out here that might be feeling this next topic. We'll get right into it. James Harden goes for 32 points in 39 minutes. Also, while KD goes 42 points in 40 minutes in their first game together in Brooklyn tonight in their win over the fucking Magic, but it's still just amazing the way they played together and both scored that many points in that many amount of minutes. So we'll come to you first, Jello. do you like the chemistry the chemistry that James Harden and KD already had tonight? And do you think that Kyrie will mess it up when or if he comes back?
So I mean, there's no surprise there. They played together before. They weren't. I mean, KD was where he was at, but Harden might not have been that breakout star at that point. But they played together. They know how each other plays. They know what they're gonna do, and they work well together. It's But we got to remember this. Harden got traded. He didn't leave. There wasn't any bad blood at that point, which is why he wanted to go to the Nets at that point, because him and KD have played together. They played well together. They've gone to championship games together, and that's that. So I'm not surprised they both come out here scoring points. KD and Kyrie are both scoring points at that point. At this point, I don't think Kyrie's coming back. If he does, he will mess it up at this point because it's all about Kyrie. And now it's KD ahead of Kyrie and Harden above KD or Kyrie at that point. And that's just how it is. I know everyone will say Harden's put on that weight, but as a scorer, he's dominant. Defense needs a lot of work, but I mean, matching him up with KD again, especially where they're at in their careers and how they progressed as players, I mean, this is going to be crazy. So I'm not surprised they combined for, what was it, 74 points at that point?
Yeah,
So
bro.
it's not surprising, and it's probably going to happen a lot at this point. With LeVert gone, Jarrett Allen gone, and a few other players gone outside of Joe Harris, they're the shooters at that point. So, and that's just about it at that point. I like that comment, shapeshifter.
Dude,
Yeah,
he did.
so
He did. He said that. Little Spinks 09 in the chat said that boy James Harden is shapeshifter. He went from chunky to losing 30 pounds in a week. Maybe he lost that shit on the flight or something on to Brooklyn.
right. So I mean, that's the thing. Well, I mean, you gotta look at those trainers at that point. But the way these guys play together, they played together before, how well they've done before, it's gonna push that through to Brooklyn. And I think this addition of Harden so quick was to move on from Kyrie. And look, we've been talking about this for what, 2 months now about this trade. All of a sudden, Kyrie stopped playing, and now it goes through. And especially all the big name players going all over the place. This went from a 2-team to a 4-team trade in like 3 hours. So I mean, that's huge. So I do have to get a little bit of a shout out there to James Harden at that point. Man earned it. He's fighting with KD. This team's going to be even better than they were before. So
shout out to James Harden. That's what I just said on the chat. But Tony, we'll swing it over to you, man. James Harden goes for 32 points in 39 minutes, while KD also dropped 42 points in 40 minutes in their first game together tonight in Brooklyn. So do you like the chemistry that James Harden and KD had tonight? And do you think that Kyrie will mess it up if or when he comes back?
So like Jello said, it doesn't surprise me. James Harden and KD have played together before. What I think about the Kyrie situation is I know Kyrie's coming back. As soon as he heard the news about James Harden, he tried to come back and they put him on an 8-day suspension. He's on day like 5. So in about 3 days, you're going to see Kyrie, KD, and James Harden all on the same court. Whether that stays that way until the trade deadline, who knows? They could be trying to move Kyrie out now that you have a dominant duo. James Harden going 12 rebounds, 14 assists, and 32 points in 40 minutes.
And maybe they even try to swing a big man in there to help that too, the rebound portion.
Yep, exactly. Try to outsource to a team that has too many big men and not enough little guys. You know what I mean? So, I mean, when you have a dominant duo, somebody dropping 32 and the other guy dropping 42.
So I have
something. Really need Kyrie?
I have a question on that though, because I heard ESPN, Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, they were all talking about this Kyrie situation, and they said the exact same thing you're saying. Maybe they're looking to shift him out of there, get him out of there because now they have James Harden. And Stephen A. Smith specifically said, and it stuck out in my head because I could see it being true. He's from New York. He finally made it to where he wants to be with the team he wants to be on. If they try to shift him out of there, what if he tries to retire? Like, what if he instantly is like, I'm not leaving, I'm done. Like, I'm done with basketball. I'm not going. Fuck that, I'm retiring. You know what I mean? Then the trade,
honestly,
trade and Kyrie's gone. You know? So I just wanted to bring that up because that stuck out in my head. I want to hear you guys' opinion on that.
Yeah. No, and that's a great take. And it's all 100% valid. But Kyrie, you know, man, I don't think he's done. I really don't. I don't think that man's done. I think he's trying to wiggle his way back into trying to find somebody that can take him to another NBA championship. That's what I really think it is. So I think now that James Harden and Kevin Durant are here, I think Kyrie's going to come walking back like nothing happened. He's going to take his 8-day suspension, his $50,000 fine, and he's going to hop back on the court, and they're going to go win a fucking title. Because if you have Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant all together, and somehow they can maintain these numbers all three at the same time, it's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. Because if you put James Harden at shooting guard, Kyrie at point guard, and then you put Kevin Durant at the 3 or the 4, it's over.
Jello, what do you think on that retiring statement that Stephen A. Smith went ahead and brought up the other day if they try to dish Kyrie out of Brooklyn?
I mean, it's not surprising. We've seen crazier from Kyrie at that point. So I feel like that bringing up retiring at that point would, one, make the Nets keep him at that point. So, I mean, maybe they could get something for him later down the road. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised him playing that card. I mean, it's that force card, basically. Like, he wants to have control of their situation. They go to move him. He's like, fine, I'll retire, and you won't get anything for me. And then I feel like the Nets would be more inclined to keep him at that point. So it wouldn't be surprising just what we've seen from him before and all that different crap. So, I mean, it's highly plausible. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him at this point. So who knows? Kyrie's, I feel like, loony enough at this point where it could happen.
He's the Bush and Latte 33 in the chat says just depends if Kyrie can adapt to his old playing style before he played with LeBron and the Cavs. In my personal opinion on that comment, I don't think that there isn't a Kyrie like that anymore. Like, I think he's lost that completely. You know, he's proven that. You know what I mean? Whether it's on the Cavs or whether it's on the Celtics and now on the Nets, he's proven his bullshit. I haven't seen the old just like, let me just play ball Kyrie in so long, bro. Before, like, everyone knew Kyrie. Like, before LeBron made him who he is. I said it. LeBron made him who the fuck he is. And now he thinks he's like a little Terminator fucking beast, and he's not that great. He's got the best handles in the game, no doubt. In my opinion, he got the best handles in the game. But his decision making, stuff like that, it's just not as good as, you know, James Harden's or LeBron's or even Steph Curry's for that matter. You know, Steph Curry's playing lights out again. You know what I mean? I just haven't seen Kyrie get back to the old him the way these players can get back to their old selves. You know what I mean? And we've all seen it before. I'm excited to see Klay Thompson get back to his old self and see if he can get back to his old self whenever he gets back on the court, if he gets back on the court. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It was just an interesting take on that whole Kyrie and James Harden to Brooklyn situation. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But that was Rick T Podcast scratching the surface. We're gonna get right into this next thing, man. I am the general manager, bro. I am the GM. It's a game. Oh shit! I feel like a GM now, for real. But this game is called I Am the GM, bro. I Am the GM is a new game here on the Rick T Podcast where I ask Tony, Jello, myself, and today I'm asking the chat their own specific questions. I want you guys to answer. I want to hear what you guys have to say if you guys are the GM. But I'm asking you guys some sticky questions as if I was the media and as if you guys or the chat was in an after game press conference. You guys know what I mean? So Tony, we actually played this game a couple weeks ago, so we'll go ahead and start with you. We'll get right into it, man. Tony, we'll start with you. I am the GM. So as the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we know you all hired Urban Meyer a couple days ago. So we want to know, do you let Urban Meyer pick his own coaching staff, or do you build one for him?
I think we work together to build something that's going to work on both ends of the spectrum. I think Urban Meyer has some goals set in place, and I think that I can help him get to those goals. Next question.
As a GM of the Denver Nuggets, with the expectations of the team drowning, in our opinion, what move do you make to save it, or do you make a move at all?
All right. So first of all, drowning is a very, very excessive word here. All right. We're in 8th place, but we're 4 games behind first place. It is too early to say we are drowning. We've had COVID problems with Michael Porter Jr. We've had Murray, who was trying to get in full swing, who's finally starting to pick things up. We have Jokic, who's been in full swing since 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So I just think it's too early to say that we're drowning. So other than that, no comment.
I completely agree on that. We'll move on to the third and final question for you, GM Tony. As the GM of the Houston Texans, where are you looking to send it, Deshaun Watson, and what are you looking to get back from it?
I'm looking to reach out to the Dolphins. I'm trying to get a hold of Tua. I think Tua would be a great fit. It's just a matter of how the Dolphins see that going and what we can make happen. As long as it doesn't cost too much, we're all in.
I like it. Jello, we'll move on right to you, my brother. So, Jello, you are the GM. As the GM of the Brooklyn Nets, what do you do with Kyrie Irving after his off the court problems and also after getting James Harden?
So right now, that's something we just have to work with Kyrie with at this point. We need to see where his head's at, his dedication to this team. It seems like it might be a little lacking at this point, but we really need to work with him close at that point. I mean, I'd love to keep him on this team. I love the player he is. Off the court, we got some issues, but I mean that happens. So hopefully we can work with him, get to see where his head's at, how his mindset is at this point, and we'll go from there. Next question.
I like that answer a lot, actually. Question number 2, Jello. As the GM of the Atlanta Falcons, do you draft a quarterback at the number 4 spot? If so, what quarterback? And what do you do with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones?
So at this point, I'm gonna leave Julio out of it a little bit. We'll just leave that to what might come of it here in the next few months. But I do like our spot at number 4 at this point. There's a huge class of quarterbacks coming in. But one thing we really like is Matt Ryan as a coach over these quarterbacks. I mean, we've drafted guys like Ben Kirk in the last few years, but nothing's ever happened with that. We do like Ryan as our Falcons quarterback. He's been with us his entire career. I would love to draft another quarterback and have him be the mentor that this quarterback could use down the road. I know a lot of people say he hasn't won championships, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that, but he has been one of the best quarterbacks that at least the Falcons organization has seen in years. And we still love him inside our Falcons community. So hopefully we can draft that quarterback at number 4, get some good mentoring from Matt Ryan, and see where this organization goes.
So, actually, I want to stick on that question for a minute and ask a couple more questions with that because that was an interesting answer. Um, So, do you think drafting a quarterback at number 4 and keeping Matt Ryan will cause a little bit of drama in that locker room? And do you still trade Julio in that whole situation still?
So it's not. This isn't going to be drama. So I mean, we've seen this with the Packers organization. For example, Favre did not want to be a mentor to Rodgers, and Rodgers does not want to be a mentor to Jordan Love, who got drafted last year. Ryan isn't like that. You can look it up all you want. You can look at videos. He's not a man to shoo people away. He's there to make the team better. And if he knows that this quarterback coming in, Matt Ryan knows he. I mean, the amount of years he's played, he might not have that much time left. So I think he would be the best person, the way he is mentally, the way he is as a person, would be the best option for the new quarterback coming in. So I think him as a mentor, him as a coach, for example, is probably one of the best things out there. Once again, you can look it up if you want. You can see how he is. He's not the person to shy away from that at that point. He's smart. He knows what the future holds at that point. So, but I guess we'll touch on this Julio subject a little bit. Um, it's a tough thing. It's a wide receiver coming into his 11th season at this point after this offseason. So that's one of those big things where we have a lot of up and coming receivers like Russell Gage. Calvin Ridley's been very good for us overall this season. So we love Julio inside this organization. We'd love to keep him, but once again, we'll just have to wait and see till we get there.
Wow. Little Sphinx 09 says ATL needs to free up cat space. Julio. Yeah, I can hear you. But Jello, we'll move into the third and final question, man. And this is an interesting question because you guys are going to the AFC Championship as the GM of the Buffalo Bills after a great year and maybe a Super Bowl championship. What's a move you make to assure your team's success for the future to come? What's one move that you make this offseason?
I think one big thing is looking into a few lineman changes. And I'm not saying the line we have isn't good, but I want to be able to protect Josh Allen as much as we can. The man's a good quarterback, and yes, he can get out of the pocket. He can run. I don't want him to have to do that. I want him to have 5 seconds in the pocket, ready to throw the ball at that point. So I think some good lineman changes. Definitely some work when it comes to the running back situation. We do have a few good running backs with Singletary, Zach Moss. Don't get me wrong, but if we could get a good veteran running back in there and really, really coach these guys, I think this team will be great. So linemen, running backs, that's our biggest looks at this point.
I like it. We're going to move on to me now. It's my turn. Chat, get ready. Your guys' questions are next. I want to get those fast answers. I need to know what you guys think if you guys are the GM. But it is my turn. So, Tony, go ahead and take it away.
Yes, sir. All right. First, before I ask you your questions, Eric, I do want to ask E-Dub. E-Dub said, hell not, Tony. No, thank you, when I said that we were going to outsource for Tua. That being said, E-Dub, well, first of all, let me reword this. Did you hear about those rumors in the first place?
That not everyone's sold on Tua?
Yes. So, and if so, what would it take to make that happen? I mean, Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback. He just doesn't have a surrounding team. So I want to know your input, E-Dub. Let me know in chat. Eric, sorry for the delay, brother. I'm going to move on to you right now.
No problem.
All right. So as a GM of the Panthers, what do you think, or what do you do at the QB spot this offseason? Do you draft a rookie QB in middle of round 1, trade up to get a franchise quarterback, dip your toes in free agency, or choose one of the roster already?
There's no cameras rolling, I hope, because this is going to be a crazy answer. With all the stuff going around with Deshaun Watson, I'm actually thinking maybe we can get a steal with him. He's not happy in Houston, and I'm not going to necessarily say we're not happy with our quarterbacks, but I think we can do better with a quarterback like Deshaun Watson. I'm not interested in trading up in the first round to get a rookie. I'm not interested in building a rookie again, and I'm really not interested in dipping in my toes into free agency to seeing how many more quarterbacks like Matt Ryan or maybe Phillip Rivers and stuff are out there. I'm not really interested in that, so I'm going to go ahead and try to pull all my chips in on Deshaun Watson this year and see what can maybe happen, what I can get from it.
I like that answer. Write the chat real quick. E-Dub says, yes, but I'm not giving up that for Watson. I completely understand that.
Would you get Dad? Would you give up your 4th overall pick or your 3rd overall pick for Deshaun Watson and to keep Tua? Would you give up something like that? Just curious.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric, for finishing that question for me. Back to you. As the GM of the LA Lakers, do you choose who gets traded if something happens, or do you bow down and let LeBron do his thing? And this question basically stems from Ty Lue, basically letting LeBron handle the whole franchise for him.
So I'm glad you actually brought that up. I'm gonna quote a friend of mine. He was a GM over in Denver. He said, "Drowning was a very bold word in his question after his game," and I'm gonna go ahead and say, "Bow down" is a very bold statement in this because I don't necessarily think it's bowing down. If I let LeBron take the handles and we win a championship, I'm wearing a ring, he's wearing a ring. I'm still the head coach. He's still the MVP. You know what I mean? So I'm not necessarily going to say bow down, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and ask LeBron what he thinks and maybe let him take the reins a little bit, considering he's won a championship, basically being his own GM type thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and maybe skirt into the background a little bit and pull a Magic Johnson and maybe just chill. We just chill.
So follow up question that's not on script. This is completely off script, chat.
Okay.
Is that to keep LeBron happy and keep LeBron in LA? Or is that because you want to make the best move for the team itself? Are you focusing on the team or LeBron?
So this might sound a lot of people are not going to believe me, but I'm focusing on the team in this. Like I said, his track record has proven that he can build a championship team with his own decisions. So I'm not necessarily saying that I'm a bad GM or anything like that, but I've seen that he's a better GM than a lot of other real GMs out there. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take his help. I feel like this Lakers organization has 2 GMs with me and him, and I'm not gonna kick him out of it and just use me as one. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Yeah, I like that answer. Edub in chat says, no, I'm going to get weapons for Tua and build around him. The Dolphins don't need Watson. As a Dolphins fan, Edub, I'm going to take that and I'm going to completely agree with you because I'm not a Dolphins guy. I don't watch a lot of Dolphins football. So I am going to completely agree with you and we're going to see what happens. I'm a Tua fan. That's all I'm going to say. All right, Eric, back to you.
Perfect.
As the GM of the Seattle Seahawks, what's your plan at QB for the next 3 to 5 years? And this question really stems from Russell Wilson starting out as the top MVP candidate and slowly but surely fell off throughout the weeks as they went by. So what is your plan?
You know, and I'm gonna quote another GM friend I have. His name is Jello. He said that he's gonna build pieces in Atlanta. He's gonna keep Matt Ryan and draft a quarterback and sit him behind Matt Ryan to kind of learn a little bit, maybe over the next year or two. And I'm kind of thinking that same thing with Russell Wilson. I don't think he's a confrontational guy. I don't think he'd feel threatened if I drafted a quarterback just for the near future. Then I think he's a realist. He knows he's getting older. He knows he's not playing as well as he should be. He's never won an MVP, and he's only getting older, like I said. So I think I'm going to draft a quarterback, maybe not first round this year, but maybe I'll see what I can snag in the second round or later, and maybe see if I can build something with him through the years. Maybe have him learn Russell Wilson's techniques and stuff, and then in 2-3 years, when Russell Wilson wants to either leave or retire, then I have someone who knows the offense and someone who plays just like Russell. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with Russell Wilson and go ahead and just draft a quarterback later in the draft.
Awesome. So I have one more off-script question.
Cool.
What do you think about Miami University's quarterback? I feel like he would fit very well.
D'Eriq King?
Yes, I feel like he would fit very well with the play style and the playbook that you have going on. So is that a possibility in the second round? Because I know he's not projected to go first.
So I'm going to be completely honest. I just seen something today on Instagram that he's going to be the best quarterback in the SEC next year. So he's going back.
He's going back.
Yeah, he's going back for his senior or junior or senior year. So we don't even have a chance to get him. But that is actually a really good point. If I were to go for someone like that who plays just like Russell Wilson and has a really ideal play style just like him, I would maybe be interested in snagging him next year and maybe restarting the trend next year. You know what I mean? Maybe give Russell Wilson one more year to prove himself and then doing that next year.
Okay, awesome. I like it.
But those were actually some great questions. Those are some great answers. Chat, it is y'all's turn, man. We're actually going to answer them as the questions come to, but we want to hear these answers strictly from chat. Go ahead and write your guys' boldest answers in the chat. We want to hear what you guys have to say. So, chat, as the GM of the New Orleans Saints, if you guys are the GMs of the New Orleans Saints, do you guys draft a quarterback in this year's draft? You guys draft a quarterback in this year's draft, find one in free agency, or do you sign one that you already have? Because everyone knows that this is Drew Brees' last year. So as you guys answer, we'll go ahead and have some quick little answers. Jello, what would you do?
So I don't think I'd draft a quarterback just at the spot everything is at that point, but I find one in free agency. And I might catch a lot of flack, but what he did in New Orleans before, I want to keep Taysom Hill there. I do like him. Winston, we still figuring out how that's going to work out, but I think bringing back Bridgewater, right? But I think bringing back Bridgewater into our offense would be a great thing. I didn't like that he left. Obviously, he left to pursue that starting job, but if that opportunity arose, I would not turn it down. No, I might catch some flack for that, but yeah.
I actually like it. Tony, what would you do in this situation as a general manager of the New Orleans Saints?
So I was trying to look it up. Do we know what pick they have in the draft?
Not yet. They'll be projected last 5 because if they win tomorrow, they'll be in the final 4. You know what I mean? So they'll have the end of the draft, end of the first round.
So 27 to 30.
They don't have any like traded up options or anything like that.
No, the Saints don't have anything this year. Nope.
Okay. Well, in that case, if you're gonna get a late first round quarterback, I'm sticking with Taysom Hill. Just like Jello said. You guys won some games with him under the belt. I think that's a great fit. You just got to teach that guy to slide and not put his shoulder down and run people over.
He's a tight end at heart.
I know. He wants to be a tight end so bad. EDub8485 says, do you guys agree this draft is stacked? I would try to trade up if I could get a QB, but if not, I would roll with Hill as my QB.
I like
Eric,
that.
do you want to read Little Spinks?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read Little Spinks, and then I'll take it up. I'm picking a QB in the draft if there's still a good improviser-style quarterback left at the end of the first round. If no good options are left, I'm grabbing a quarterback in free agency. So let me go ahead and answer my dad's real quick. He said, do you guys agree this draft is stacked? I would try to trade up if I could get a quarterback, but if not, I would roll with Hill as my quarterback. So I completely agree with that. If I was the Saints, seeing how they've been in the playoffs the last 4 or 5 years consistently, and they just keep getting screwed over, with a quarterback like Drew Brees that can't even push him over that hump, in the way that today's age is going in the NFL with Justin Herbert and a Joe Burrow coming out in the draft, and like my dad said, this draft is stacked this year. I completely agree. I would try to trade up and maybe get that quarterback out of BYU, Zach Wilson. He's projected to go 4th to Atlanta. But I don't necessarily think he should go that high. I would try to trade up and definitely get a quarterback. But my thing is if you trade up as New Orleans, every team in the world knows they're gonna get an arm and a leg out of you if you want a draft pick. Like we're gonna give New Orleans our draft pick, man. I want him, and y'all draft pick, and they're gonna be like, damn, you're taking our whole team right now. So I definitely agree with that. But my thing is what do you give up to trade up, and how far up do you trade? And how many quarterbacks slide? You know what I'm saying?
So while you're still going, your dad also said, or do you roll with Winston?
Or roll with Winston. Damn. Or Hilson or Winston. I like Winston in that fit better than I do Hill. I think the original quarterback in New Orleans is needed. But let me read this and answer this one, Jello, and then we'll go ahead and swipe all what chat's saying, because this is their time. I'm picking up a quarterback in the draft if there's still a good improviser-style quarterback left at the end of the first round. Little Spinks 09 says, if no good options are left, I'm grabbing a quarterback in free agency. So I completely agree with that, Little Spinks 09. I think that improviser quarterback style is really needed in New Orleans as well, along with like the traditional style. I think like a half and half quarterback is needed like that. But my thing is if you don't get one like that and you do choose to go into free agency, how many good free agent quarterbacks are out there this year? I've been thinking that this whole podcast, because there's going to be like a maybe Matt Ryan, maybe a Phillip Rivers. There might still be a free agent, Deshaun Watson. Do you guys have anyone else that you guys know is going to be a free agent?
I hate to say it, so it's not really a quarterback, but Cam Newton is up there.
So a tight end. Jello, we're talking quarterbacks. We're not talking tight ends over here, okay?
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there.
We're talking quarterbacks.
He's listed as that. But who else? So Phillip Rivers, I think, is going to be the biggest one, of course. So
yeah, but do you want Garoppolo? Yeah, but do you want quarterbacks at that age? My thing is, this is a young NFL. This is a really young NFL.
So don't forget about this. So,
Jello, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Don't forget about this one. Jags are due to make decisions like this. Gardner Minshew. That man is a good quarterback on a very bad team. So I think that's a possibility. Maybe not as a free agent, but it's another way for them to pick up a quarterback, and I like what this kid can do.
So what do you guys say on this, Tony?
So as a Broncos fan, I know we're not talking Broncos at all, but I'm a very biased person, and I apologize, chat. The only quarterback that has been named in the last 2 minutes that I would like is Deshaun Watson over Drew Lock. I'm saying that over Drew Lock.
Exactly. That's the only younger quarterback that I would be interested in, like pursuing a future with.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to pursue a future with Philip Rivers because he only has 1 or 2 more years left.
Or Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan, exactly. Matt Ryan has proven he has a track record, but it's like, bro, how long are you willing to put all your chips in for 2 years?
He has a track record of blowing a 17 to 23 point lead in the Super Bowl.
My dad says Fitzmagic. I think Fitzmagic is done.
I wouldn't take Fitzmagic and his 14 kids to Denver. I'm sorry. He has more kids than Philip Rivers has.
Shit, and that's saying something. If Philip Rivers got that crew, he has a crew.
Philip Rivers be mama deep, bro.
That nigga got 2 basketball teams. He's like, yo, team A, team B, split it up. They're like, I want to be on team A today. He's like, no, you know you were born on team B. You know you were born in a team B. Don't fuck with me. But chat, we're gonna go ahead and read your guys' second question. Those are great answers from Edub 8485 and Little Spinks 09. I'm loving those answers. Chats, let's get more involved in this. These questions are for you. I need some answers out of you guys. We're just talking about it while you guys type the answers. But those are great answers. We're gonna get into question 2, chat. As the commissioner of the NBA, what's your plan to stop the COVID outbreaks among the players without going back to the bubble? Because everyone knows there's been some cancellations in the last week or two. So I want to hear actually chat's opinions on this whole COVID stuff. What is your guys' way of avoiding this whole COVID shit without going back to the bubble? Because everyone knows realistically the bubble's the smartest idea. But you can't put people in Universal Studios for 9 months at a time, without seeing their family and stuff. It's just inhumane. A lot of players wouldn't do it. They would stop playing in the NBA. So my question again to you guys is, as the commissioner of the NBA, you guys are Silva right now. What's your plan to stop the COVID outbreaks among players without going back to the bubble? So, Tony, we'll start with you while the chat answers. Chat, these questions are for you, so go ahead and answer in the chat, and we'll go ahead and read them and talk about them. But, Tony, what would you do? How do you feel about this whole thing?
I'm starting to hand out fines for anybody doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. It's a pandemic, and you're a celebrity, you're a famous athlete, you're supposed to lead by example. You're a professional. So if you're caught out at a strip club in New Mexico like James Harden, $50,000. If you're caught out at your dad's birthday party at Olive Garden like Kyrie Irving, $50,000. If I see something about Jokic at a fucking horse ranch that's too crowded, $50,000.
$50,000 for some breadsticks?
Yes. You're a professional. You're a professional. Your dad says, I hate basketball, no comment. Completely understandable.
I respect it. He's like, man, I'm shutting the league down.
Yes. And I get it. But I can't deal with it. You don't see LeBron out there doing stupid crap. You don't see Giannis out there doing stupid things. You don't see Luka doing stupid things. You don't see Jokic doing stupid things. Like, they're at home and they're getting ready for the next game and the next practice like they should be. Y'all don't need to be out at the strip club or at Olive Garden eating breadsticks with your dad for his birthday.
Yeah. Speaking of dads, Dad, stay around for the next question. The next question is NFL. Just want to let you know. But continue.
No, that's all I need to say. I'm sorry. I kind of rambled on that one, but that kind of frustrated me, honestly.
No, you're good. I completely agree on that. That's what they're doing in the NFL.
So maybe I'm not done because Jello decided to head on out of here.
Dip out. Hold on, let me read the comments real quick. So Bush says, tighter restrictions. We pay y'all thousands to millions to follow simple rules, but y'all still slapping stripper booties on the weekends, which is completely what Tony's saying. It's like, you guys have one job, and it's to play fucking basketball. Stop doing all the extra shit. But Little Spinks 09, I know he's a consistent basketball fan too. He said, talk with officials on medical staffs and also discuss with GMs of each team on how they will enforce players to stay home outside of NBA activities. Then again, these are grown men. They can also do as they please, but fines will be placed.
Exactly what I'm saying.
True, but it's like, man, you got, like I just said, you got one job. It's like, do you want the millions or do you want to fucking be a man and be independent and shit like that? But Tony, take it away.
I want to go look at strippers all day. You know what I mean? Like, that's dumb. You have millions and millions of dollars. Some NBA players are climbing the mountain to get to that billion mark. I'm not going to say they're close, but you know what I mean? They have
Maybe
so
LeBron.
much money and they have families, you know what I mean? So stay your ass at home. Play some video games.
What
Lil
Serge,
Spinks.
what Little Spinks just said is perfect. If the players continue to go against guidelines, the NBA will be canceled. Playing in the NBA is a gift. It is not needed. Exactly.
Who is that?
People.
Who is that?
That's my cousin Serge, bro. I think I'm gonna try to have him on Talk My Talk tomorrow morning, or maybe the podcast next
He's
week.
spitting facts nonstop. I like Serge a lot. He says a lot of the things that I agree with 100%. Serge, you and I will get along great. Eric, let me let you take this away because I've been just rambling.
Honestly, bro, this question this is why I wanted to hear your guys' opinions and chat's opinions, because I have no fucking idea what I would do. They've already tried the wristbands, they did the bubble, and they're trying restrictions and fines and stuff, but it just doesn't seem like it's really affecting anybody, none of them. So it's like, I don't know, man. There's players that want to play and doing the right things, and then there's just players that don't give a fuck about anybody else. And not just only players, there's people in the world that are not giving a fuck. They're going out with COVID. They don't give a fuck and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like quarantine, do what you got to do. But truly, I don't know what I would do. So that's why I wanted to hear you guys' opinions. I have no take on this because this is a hard question. COVID is tough. And no one knows how to deal with COVID. So I can't fault the NBA for not doing the right thing. I can't fault NFL. I can't fault even them for or people for going out and doing their thing, because it's like, what you've been doing for 28 years. I've been doing this. And then this year hits and you just got to cut it all off. So it's like, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So I have one more thing I want to bring up.
Go ahead.
So Jamal Crawford, if you don't know who that is the crossover king. He is an absolute animal. And what he was suggesting is you have guys in free agency, you have guys who have retired who want to come back. You have all these players who are willing to play that have played at the professional level before, right? So if you have all of these people with the experience, if there's players in the NBA that do not want to listen to protocols, cut them off for the season. Bring in those guys and get the job done. Because there's people that would love to play at your level, at the same level that you play at. No, you know what I mean? Everybody in the NBA is replaceable.
Oh, completely. Oh, and there's younger kids. There's younger kids coming up that are better than these players, and then there's players that are fucking sitting at parks in fucking New York and Cali and just fucking sharpening their skills every day. That could come into
New York, especially. That's why Jamal Crawford is saying these things, because he grew up playing New York street ball. So
these kids are fucking the truth out here in the streets.
Exactly, Eric. So what I want to see is either they follow the rules or they get their job replaced, and then they're looking for a job next year because that guy performed better than they were.
And I'm not even gonna fucking lie to you. I would love to see them get some young fucking grind New York kids in the NBA. Like give them a chance and see what the fuck they do with it. Because I guarantee them niggas stay at home. I guarantee they stay at home.
Yes. You have people that jump out the gym. Exactly. You have people that jump out the gym. You have people that'll break people's ankles. You have people that'll put Steph Curry on ice skates. You know what I mean? So you have all these players that are available for you. Go ahead and read that.
He said, me personally, as a fan, I'm with Uncle. My favorite players are all old and hurt now. I could care less about the NBA. Derrick Rose is at the end of his career. He's the only reason I started watching the NBA. I think I'm not going to lie. I like the new generation coming into the NBA, the Lukas, the shit like that. I like the way they play, but I hate the way they like handle themselves. The old players they handled themselves so professionally, it made the NBA almost like a sport plus an outside business. You know what I mean? Like it was cool to see what NBA players were doing outside of the court and shit like that. And now it's really like what the fuck you see? You always see LeBron doing something, but he's more of an older generational type of player. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's an old head. Exactly.
It's 2021.
Exactly. You see Chris Paul doing the shit. You see all these older players continuing that legacy of just being cool on and off the court, doing cool shit on and off the court. Yeah. But what the fuck do you see Luka doing? What the fuck? What the fuck is Trae Young doing?
Yo, You don't hear anything about Carmelo Anthony, right?
No.
You don't ever hear a word about Carmelo Anthony except for he's in the gym fighting for his spot, right?
And he's married to Lala Anthony's fine ass.
All right, hey, I'm gonna recommend that we move on so we don't lose your pops in this.
Yeah, straight up. Let's go ahead and go on to this last question. Sorry about that, guys. Third and final question, chat, and I'm excited for this question. As part owner of an NFL team, Cincinnati Bengals. So you guys are part owner of this. So you guys have a lot of say in what the Cincinnati Bengals do. With the city and the team at an all-time low in team support, do you consider moving the franchise? If so, where would be the best spot to take that franchise? And I only said the Cincinnati Bengals because I'm trying to think of a team that doesn't have a lot of fan support. Cincinnati, Ohio is really that whole state's really Browns fans. If we're gonna be fucking real, everyone likes the Cleveland area more than anything. That's the sport area of Ohio. So I thought, what's a team that's been boo boo that doesn't really have much except Joe Burrow that wouldn't necessarily mind moving the franchise. So if you guys were part owner of that team and you had a say, it was a final say. There was 3 votes on this side that said yes, 3 votes on this side that said no, and you were the final vote. What would you say? Would you say yes, let's move the franchise? And if so, where would you move it to? So Tony, question to you: what's your answer to that?
I'm taking Cincinnati to Alabama.
Ooh,
you have seen the Roll Tide crowd. You have seen everything. If not Alabama, take them to Nebraska.
A country, a college town.
Those are college towns that would die for an NFL team. There's people in those towns that have never been to an NFL game, right? And so you would have automatic season ticket holders. You would have automatic diehard fans just because you moved there, right? And honestly, my first pick is Alabama. My second pick is Nebraska. And that's just because you have these diehard fans that just because you either have an A or an N on your helmet, these are towns that have literally the name of where they live on their helmet. Like they are ride or die fans. So honestly, Alabama would be great. Nebraska would be great. I've been in the Nebraska tailgate. I was at the Nebraska tailgate where your dad said Utah. That's a good one.
They have a lot of sports fans in Utah, and they don't got shit out there but a basketball.
Utah is a great one.
Yeah.
But my thing is I was at the Nebraska tailgate when they were playing the Miami Hurricanes, and it got shut down by SWAT. And we all got moved out of the Indian reservation because we were partying too loud and it got too crazy. And we got look up videos of it. There's videos all over the place. I was at that tailgate and it was completely nuts. They love football in Nebraska. It's the same in Alabama. So what about you?
To be honest, that was a great answer with the Alabama and the Utah shit. I didn't really necessarily think about moving it to a college town. I was thinking more in the money business, how to build that franchise up money wise. And if we're thinking support wise, yeah, Utah, Alabama, somewhere that has a college team that's really supportive, but somewhere that doesn't have a sports team like that. You know what I mean? So I completely agree with you, my dad, on that point. But if I'm moving for the money reasons, those are horrible places to move. You know what I mean? You have to go somewhere that money's going to be spent.
Check chat.
I'm moving them to Oregon and Nevada. See, and I was thinking that too. Oregon and Nevada. Nevada just got one with the Raiders, and Oregon just legalized fucking crack. I'm like, so I don't fucking know I don't know how you want to take that one if you want all those crackheads in the NFL stadium. The Oregon just fucked up for real, big time. But I don't know. If I'm moving it for money purposes, obviously you don't move it to LA. They already have 2. You don't move it to Texas. They already got 2. You don't move it to Miami. They have the Dolphins and 2 other teams in Florida. And you don't move it to New York. So if I'm going to move it to money purposes, I think the best money purpose thing is to move it out of country. Low-key Mexico, England, maybe even give Hawaii a team on their island or something like that. I think that would be a fucking cool idea.
I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi lagged, and then I came back to you saying Mexico, London.
I said Mexico, London, or maybe a good spot to give a team is Hawaii. I think Hawaii might be actually a good spot to put a team too.
Hawaii would be cool, but you got to think about the jet lag, man.
Yeah,
You
it'd
got
be
to think
fucked
about
up.
the jet. Mexico.
Imagine you fucking are a Hawaii team. You play the New York Jets at home, so you're flying all the way across the country, and then say you have a short week and you play Thursday at home in Hawaii. So you have to fly all the way back on a
Well,
short week.
not even that. Say you have a game in New York, and then you have a short week, so you have to fly to Pennsylvania straight there and stay there in the hotel for the next couple days. You're tired. You're not at home. You're not
Yeah.
doing what you got to do. Now, what you said about Mexico, I can completely agree with.
Mexico City would be a good spot because they have a lot of fans. They don't really play football out there, so it would
What
be
is
a
it?
big revenue. Yeah,
Estada Stadium.
Estada.
Stadium.
That's a nice stadium. It's a nice
That is
stadium.
It's a soccer stadium. It's huge. But I mean,
like
it's not the first time that you've combined sports in the stadium. I mean, look at the Raiders. They had a baseball
shit.
field. Yeah, and you were getting tackled on dirt all the time. This is straight turf. This is a soccer field. I think Mexico, that was a great answer. I completely agree with that.
See, and Little Spinks 09. So hold on, we'll start here. So my dad, EW8445 says, or put another team in California. See, and that's a smart money move. But it's like, how many you want 4 or 5 teams in California alone when there's teams like Alabama or states like Alabama who have none?
So you have,
You know what I mean?
Let's think about this. So you have 2 in LA. You have 1 in San Fran.
And then
what am I missing?
The Raiders just left.
Yeah, so you only have 3 now. So you can put another team back in Cali.
But where
it's just
though?
a matter of place.
Sacramento. That's the only spot you could do it. Yes, in Northern California.
Sacramento. San Jose, maybe.
Ooh, Africa would work also, but Africa would work for a fan base and money wise. But like Tony said, jet lag, you'd be fucked up. You could not play a game once a week. You would have to play like 6 home games and then go to America for 6 away games.
That's a matter of like expanding the NFL into smaller leagues at that point.
Well, like Sergio said right here, he said overseas wouldn't be a good move anyway because especially in the UK they watch soccer, not football, and that's a great point as well. But like,
I like how he called it soccer, not football.
They watch football, not football.
Football Americano.
Hell no, bro. But those are great answers, chat. We're actually gonna move on. I actually really enjoyed this IMGM game. I fucked with it, but I do want to let people know the 2021 NFL Pro Bowl. The 2021 NFL Pro Bowl game will be played virtually in Madden 21 instead of real play. EA Sports and the NFL will create a week-long series of matchups featuring celebrities, NFL legends, current players, and streamers playing as the official Pro Bowl rosters in Madden NFL 21. These matchups will accumulate in an action-packed virtual Pro Bowl game played with the 2021 Pro Bowl players facing off with Madden NFL 21. Sorry about that. These virtual games will be available for fans to watch across a variety of platforms. Twitch is one of them. Additionally, for players of Madden 2021, EA Sports will be dropping a new Pro Bowl content in the game so that the players worldwide can play out the AFC versus NFC matchups themselves. Pro Bowl week starts Sunday, January 24th, 2021. So it starts not tomorrow, but next Monday or next Sunday. It'll be fucking cool. Sergio says football. Eat some of that football. But yeah, I didn't really want to talk too much about this, but I just wanted to remind people that the Pro Bowl isn't happening this year due to COVID, so it will be played virtually on Twitch, YouTube, stuff like that, probably Facebook gaming, stuff like that, so people can watch them play in Madden 21 on Xbox, PC, whatever these dudes game on. A lot of players game, so I think it'll be interesting to watch considering a lot of players don't fucking game, so it'll be dumb. Like, it'll be stupid to watch these guys, but a lot of players will be interesting to see, so it'll be interesting. So tune in starting Monday for the 2021 NFL Pro Bowl, man. But we'll move on to this next one. Here at the Rick T Podcast, we choose Alexander's Angels, man. Alexander's Angels is an organization for kids It's an organization that helps raise awareness and acceptance for people with Down syndrome. We here at the Rick T Podcast are 100% with and fully support Alexander's Angels, man. So definitely shoot on over to the Alexander's Angels website, stuff like that. See how you guys can get involved. See how you guys can donate. And see if you guys can just leave a message for those kids that are in need and need to know that they're supported and loved and stuff like that and accepted like that. So definitely shoot on over to Alexander's Angels and see how you yourself can get involved. It's not for your conscience. It's just to get involved and help these kids feel like they're part of the world, because they are. So definitely go ahead and shoot on over there, man. But we'll go ahead and move on to talk your talk, man. Talk your talk, man. We all love some talk your fucking talk. Talk Your Talk is a spinoff from the Rick T Podcast, where myself, Eric, has a little 30-minute phone conversation with a random guest to talk about their team, interests, or just life in general. We're going to dig a little deeper on a personal level during Talk Your Talk with our fans, friends, or family than we normally would on the Rick T Podcast. So start tuning in Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time on our Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook platforms to watch, comment, and enjoy our new spinoff podcast, Talk Your Talk. Episode 5 is live tomorrow morning, January 16th, 2021 at 10:30 a.m. See you all there. I actually don't have a guest for tomorrow's Talk Your Talk, so it could be just me and Tony. It could just be one of us with a guest. It could be Serge. I don't know. It could be anybody. So definitely hit me up. I'm going to hit a couple people up who I'm interested in. And we'll see.
You want me on there tomorrow or what?
Yeah, if you want to come on there, that would be cool. Definitely. 10:30. 10:30.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
I know Oakley be making you running late sometimes.
Man, no, we have her, so she's not going nowhere. I don't have to go get her. So she's cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll be there. But I do want to go ahead and thank YouTube. We didn't use them today, but we usually do use them. I want to thank YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for helping us over at the Rick T Podcast, show and promote NFL and NBA highlights, incoming news, and much more. What you guys see here on the Rick T Podcast with the videos and images are all brought to you by YouTube. So definitely thank you, YouTube, for letting us use our shit.
Check chat.
Yep. He said, I'm most likely down. Thank you, brother. I'll definitely send you a link and text you tonight, and we'll talk about it for sure, bro. So I'll definitely hit you up. One more thing. We're going to go ahead and promote these dudes real quick. Fourth Quarter Show, man. The Fourth Quarter Show is a podcast, sports podcast with a couple guys like ourselves who talk, debate, and keep you updated on all interesting NFL and NBA news week to week. So follow them on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at Fourth Quarter Show, and show my guys down in Miami some love. You will definitely not regret it, man. We're supposed to do a combination podcast with them, a collab podcast with them Super Bowl week. I just contacted them the other day, and actually one of them has COVID, so definitely do maybe a prayer, good wishes and stuff to them. Hope he gets through that, and then we'll definitely link with them Super Bowl week, hopefully, and make stuff happen. So definitely tune here on the Rick T Podcast. We'll definitely do a thing with the Fourth Quarter Show. So shoot my guys down, Fourth Quarter Show, some love. My dudes down in Miami, some love, man, definitely. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the screen real quick so people know. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter, man. Thank you to everyone who tuned in and enjoyed episode 25 of the Rick T Podcast. We are live every Wednesday and Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time until the weekend of Super Bowl. After Super Bowl Sunday in 2 weeks, we are moving up to one show a week on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. to try to make life easier for us and our fans. One show a week will give us more of a chance to get more info to talk about throughout the show, and also more information will make the show longer for you all to enjoy. So follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube platforms. And also follow and subscribe on our YouTube and Twitch to keep updated with all the Rick T Podcast changes. And all of our stuff is on the screen, so definitely follow us. We'll keep it popping on the Rick T Podcast. We got all of our shit updated, stuff like that. We all post our videos the day after. We keep funny shit going, sports news, NBA news, stuff like that on our Instagram. And then our Twitter, we keep really involved with our Twitter. So definitely stay upgraded with us there. And we'll keep it popping there. But, man, it was Rick T Podcast episode 25. It was fucking lit. I enjoyed talking to everybody. Tony, you have anything to say, brother?
No, sir. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I just want to let everybody know Jay and I talking shit is a very It's a very common thing, man. It's not hate at all. Jay and I are not about the box. Jay and I are not about to do this every week, man. Like Jay
It's
and I
all
just
it's through
it's all
love.
love.
It's all
Yeah.
love. On God, at
It's
the end of
all
the day, it's all love. But that just started. I don't mind it. It just started off real fucking crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, wow, what the fuck is going
It got
on?
heated, and I just want to let everybody know, like, and especially Jay, like, man, it's all love. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly like having that hate. Like, I love having a hater in the chat. It really drives me to be here every week, and it really drives me to do my job outside of my actual job. So,
Oh.
other than that, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in. E-Dub says fins up. Man, y'all got smacked in your last game. Y'all gotta figure something out.
And Justin says Ravens are funky. No shit, Ravens are
Hella
fucking
funky.
funky. Ravens are a
Hella
funky ass
funky.
team, bro. But it was great to have everybody here on the Rick T Podcast, episode 25. We will be back on Wednesday. Me and Tony will be back tomorrow morning on the Talk Your Talk podcast. But definitely tune into the Rick T Podcast on Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. So thank you everybody for tuning in to the Rick T Podcast. See you guys Wednesday or tomorrow morning. Peace out.
Watch me go so, baby girl, I look in my do-rag. Would you like a treat? Stay with me and I'll love you through the night.